All right. Hi, my name is Joshua Mackey with Geeks for Color. Abby, Kwame, hello, how are y'all doing?
Joshua, awesome to meet you.
Likewise, likewise. So I had the amazing opportunity to watch your amazing film, Breaking, and let's just jump into the questions, talk about it. So one thing is, I'd love to understand, how did you all come across this story? Starting with you, Kwame, as the writer.
Well, we co-wrote it, and I would say that I came across it via Abby, because Abby sent it to me, and the article that was about this situation, and I was crazily moved, and then I met with Abby. I'm fond of saying she auditioned me over some lovely Thai food, and
Wooed you, I think, is the
wooed me.
It's like, Kwame, please write with me.
And actually, it was Abby's commitment to want to tell this story that made me think, whatever I'm doing right now, I need to drop and join this journey.
I love that. And actually, Abby, as a director for this film, I noticed that there's a big play with distance between the characters on screen, almost as though it's like a metaphor for how removed we are from those who are less privileged in society. In this particular case, veterans returning to civilian life, as well as the Black community. Was this type of distance purposeful in the film?
You know, when we set out to tell this story, Kwame and I set a couple parameters for ourselves as artists. We wanted to make sure that we were getting to the hottest point of the fire. And by that, I mean, we wanted to understand Brian's soul. So we did our best to get to know Brian, the man, to talk to his wife, to hear his cadence, his words. And he was a man who was alone, very much so. Even if he was around people, he felt very much alone. And that distance, my cinematographer, Doug Emmett, and we talked about quite a bit, because you can change the distance of things with lenses. Even if you're far away, you can make it feel a lot closer. But we wanted the way that we shot it to be a reflection of Brian's heart. So we went back to the research, to the script, to what Kwame and I had found out about the man, and did our best to capture that and his experience, to amplify that.
And honestly, I think you really encapsulate that experience so well. Such a moving film from both of you. I'd also like to know, recognizing that, yes, you're telling the story of Brian, but you're also talking about veteran trauma and returning to civilian life. And, John Boyega is a conduit for that story. What extra research went into that development and understanding and portraying returning to civilian life and veteran trauma on screen?
One of the reasons that I was so drawn to Brian's story is because my dad's a vet, and he's a Navy guy who has gone through a lot of the same struggles that Brian went through with the VA. So I intimately understood those lines that Brian waited in, and the phone calls that never come, the conversations that you have with family again and again, and you can't take one more because you're waiting and your hopes are in it, your heart is in it, and you come to this point of just combustion. You are the bomb, and there's few other places to turn when you get to that point.
And you really depict that so well in terms of that sense of frustration. And Kwame, I would like to understand, what's one thing that you hope audiences will take away from watching Breaking?
That we all need to see each other. And I know that sounds really bland, but actually we walk down the street and we say, yeah, how you doing? And we say how you doing, but with a full stop at the end, not with a question mark.
Mm.
And there are people carrying pains that mean ultimately they become, as you so eloquently said, Abby, they become a bomb. And sometimes we can let the air out by just seeing each other. And I think what we both wanted from this movie is for people to see Brian.
Well, I ultimately think that they will. You portrayed the story with so much care and compassion. Thank you both so much for your time. I know our watchers and our readers of Geeks of Color are going to be so appreciative of this. So thank you again, and congrats on an amazing film.
Thanks.
Thank you
Awesome
so
to
much.
meet you.
And I love your art in the background.
I was checking that out too.
I appreciate it. I